Okay, folks, going to do something a little bit different. I got about an hour or so to kill, so we're not going to go back to painting just yet this morning. John Peter and Joe, you guys are on before I'm on. I never understood what this having this starting soon thing, and I do now because once you get the thing going, you have to go in and modify some things while it's going. So that allows me to start the video but not start the video. Anyhow, I never understood why other people did it, but until I had to do it myself. So, no painting. We're not painting any skeletons. We only got about an hour to kill, but I did want to talk about what's coming up next. Well, I mean, after the, I got to finish the skeletons. We got to finish the castle. We got to do the Moldavians and the Polish allies. None of that is changing. But what's coming after that? What army is coming after that? And the discussions I talked about this morning pretty much ironed out what I'm going to do next, and that is going to be the Comnenian Byzantine. Book 1, A and B, and I may even do the Constantinian Byzantine as well, with a couple of other elements. So, anyhow, so I need to sort through and find out what I have, what I need to have, what have you. Not that I'm going to order them right now, but that gives me some time. We're just eager. Yes, you are. There's nothing to do in Deutschland. Oktoberfest is over. So, I've got my armies and enemies of the Crusades, although technically this is not an army that most people would think is for the Crusades, but it is. They're kind of the guys that called for help. So, let's take a look at what we have already for them and what we may need to get. And the first thing is I've got one bag that has all my Byzantine stuff in it, and I gotta find it. And I've got one hell of a. I'm gonna have to disconnect this from here. How about I show you that? And this is why I don't need to buy things anymore. This is the bag. Oh, don't get excited. It's just my feet. Hey, mine are clean. This is the bag of lead, which weighs, I don't know, I think I weighed it one time. It's about 80 pounds. And it is just a ton of stuff. So if I'm making all kinds of rapping noises and stuff, you'll know why. It's because I'm sorting through it. One of these bags has all the Byzantine stuff in it. And just taking a break from digging my bunker. I hope you're wasting your time. I really hope you're wasting your time, and so are you. And I hope you're not serious. Yeah. And I noticed today, 2 of the people that I follow have Ukraine videos. They're war gamers, and both of them have come up with Ukraine videos. And I watched one of them recently, and I won't be making one. I do this to escape from the real world, not to bring it in me. Now, I don't know which one of these it is, but I know it's one that has a ton of these labels for museum miniatures, because some of the figures that I picked up from Historicon, they were $1 a pack for Byzantines. Now, they're the wrong period Byzantines for the one I'm doing right now, but I'm going to look for the bag that has lots of these little yellow things, and that should narrow down which one it is. This one happens to be Seljuk Turks. There's another one I picked up a ton of Seljuk Turks for $1 a piece. That was before Luke went and stole my thunder and did some of these. This is one of the many bags of Normans. I think that was all Normans. What do we got in here? Well, I'm not even looking at it. I only have one of these. It's got to be this one. It's got a ton. This has a ton of. I think this is the one. Fixing my dry bay. Wonder might be under there. Yeah, you guys have. Hopefully, it's just like ancient German bones or something like that. Unexploded bombs from the U.S. Air Force or something like that. Yeah, I won't be making a Ukraine video because I'm not going to pick sides, because I don't think we all know what's really going on. I don't hate to be a conspiracy guy, but something fishy about it. Something real fishy. I'm going to leave it at that. And I don't want to be led astray. But no, I'm not in favor of civilians dying, you know. It's got nothing to do with that. The people at the bottom are always on the receiving end here. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. And let's remove some of these things out of the equation. All right, so first of all, these yellow bags, probably none of this stuff is going to work for this period. You're warned. And I don't have my contact lens. I just have my reading glasses. So hopefully that's good enough to do it. Yeah, these are a bunch of Byzantines, but they are from Museum Miniatures, the pre-Z range. And they are suited for an earlier time period. Okay, so I suspect none of these in the yellow bag will be appropriate, but we're going to go through them all. Yeah, these have the non-teardrop shaped shields, which I was actually... Unexploded bombs are a daily occurrence in Germany. Man, you need to move back to Canada. I wouldn't live there. We got more Byzantine guys that are bowmen. This is like for the Belisarian, Heraclean type time period, guys. So none of these guys are appropriate. There's nothing wrong with these figures. We will eventually get to doing that army. Here's some Saloy. Hey, if you're using a Byzantine army, you probably could call them Saloy, and I won't get too upset because, you know, they are Greek. Now, all these guys are oval-shaped shields. These are too early. Okay, so we're going to put these guys in this bag, and we're not interested in them at this time. I picked these up because they were $1 a bag. I'm like, I'll take them. Now, one thing that I saw, I just took a cursory glance at this. I've had this book for a while, and one thing that was interesting, I was looking at some of the infantry figures in here for the Byzantines, and there's something that I read in here that I did not know. Yes, there's lots of things I don't know, and I don't worry about them a whole lot until I get ready to do the army. And as soon as I find some Byzantine figures, I will point out what it is. And it's something that I had no idea. This would not have actually occurred to me. As soon as I find some damn Byzantines. Where'd you guys go? Here they are. They're back here in the back. Who put the Byzantines in the back? These figures over here. Let me look at them. These figures over here. It's so weird to be pointing at something with your right hand and it's a mirror imaged. This is what the spearmen look like. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need new spearmen because I only have round-shaped spearmen. But one of the comments on the spearmen here is it said, well, I can't find it now, of course, but what it said is that the teardrop-shaped shield first came in use, developed by the Byzantines. Here it is. No, I mean it's in here somewhere. So I had no idea. I had no idea that the teardrop-shaped shields come from the Byzantines. Somewhere. It's in here somewhere. I came across it. Oh, here it is. All four carry kite shields decorated in almost Western fashion. The kite shield they call them kite shield here, appears to be invented by the Byzantines in the first half of the 10th century. See armies of the Dark Ages. So that's in the 900s. The first half of the 900s, that's pretty early. And by the 11th century, it was in widespread use, particularly among horsemen. So we're going to plan on all our horsemen having those shields. Anyhow, my house was built in the 60s, so they had to check for bombs before digging. Ooh. Okay. Right. So what else? What else is in here other than those early period stuff? So we're going to start putting things in a bag that we can't use right now. And I'd say half of these Byzantines are probably guys I can't use. So this is a pack, and I'm not sure how I even got this. This was a pack of some Old Glory guys that are spearmen, but they have these oval-shaped shields. And I like Old Glory, but I'm going to tell you right now, these guys are going to be a nightmare if I ever do anything with them, because their spears are kind of on the bendy side, and they're flush up against the body. So if I was to replace these shields, these spears, I would have to scrape all this stuff off and somehow not damage the armor. So that's like, I'm not going to use these figures, or I'm just going to use them and unbend them as much as I can. Some of the Old Glory spears almost look kind of tree trunk-ish in how rough they are. I don't have a problem with their figures. They paint up really well, but that's just something to keep in mind. But these are for an earlier time period. These would be like if I was doing the Maurikian army, I'd probably that particular army has 3 spearmen and DBA. I would definitely use these guys. So we're going to keep these guys, but they're going to go like with those other cavalry that we set off to the side. So they're going to go hang out together. And this is an original Old Glory bag. So there's 50 figures in here. Kind of overkill when at most I could need is 12. But they've got command and stuff in there as well, I think. That's how when they first started, Old Glory was 50-man packs. And they were like $20 or something like that. $24 or something. Okay. What else do we have in here? We'll get to this. Because these are the French guys. These are the Alain Toulaire figures. What do we got here? We got archers from Tabletop Miniatures. And these are some of the figures that were given to me by Kevin Mello. So these, I'm going to have to do some research and find out. They've got little helmets. These could very well work for the bowmen. I believe these guys can have not counting the skirmishers, not counting the Saloy, they can have 2 stands of 3 or 4 bowmen. And there's plenty in here to do that. So we're going to hold on to these guys for the time period, and I'm going to assume that they're going to be appropriate. So that would save from having to get those figures for that. What else do we have? Tabletop games, Scutatos, just by name alone, and they have round shields. These guys are not going to be for this later period. So we'll put them in the same pack of those guys for their earlier period. What do we got here? More Scutatos. Here's a good view of the shield. It's totally round. Not appropriate for this period. Saloy. Guys that are actually called Saloy. Well, I have a feeling these guys didn't change too much over time. So we're going to put these in the keepers. Okay? And then do some research on them later. Here's more of those Saloy in the bags. Let's put these guys in the same bag as these guys. We have a general. It says Black Hat, but I don't think this guy's Black Hat. I could be wrong. Maybe he is the gladiator guy. It just doesn't look like a gladiator horse. It's kind of a diminutive horse. If this is the right code, CRB, this is their Crusades range, which would be the right one. We've got more Scutatos, which I believe they're named after the shield they carried, that's Scuta. This is just memory. So they are not appropriate. And then we've got, I believe these are Turcopoles. I believe these are definitely Gladiator. The Gladiator medieval range are definitely these guys. They're kind of oversized, and some of their horses sometimes look wonky. These two horses actually look pretty decent. So I know I've got some Turcopoles by somebody else. They're a cav unit that the Crusaders can have. We'll put those guys together. Let's see what we've got in here. We've got Cataphractos. These are, who are these guys carry? They're tabletop games. These guys are now carried by 15mm Company UK that's now been rebranded as Alternative Armies. They're kind of on the diminutive size. I don't have a problem with them. They mix in just fine. These would be guys, I believe, that would be appropriate for the Deep Knights, the 6KNs. Especially in the back ranks. As I believe you could put like macemen in the front and the bow guys in the back. Or you could just do bow guys on all of them. It doesn't really matter. It's just aesthetics. They're going to behave the same on the battlefield no matter what. These aren't appropriate for the period I'm doing, so they're a little later. We're going to put them in the same bag. Those are like for the Nicephorians. Now here's some different Cataphractos. What code Cataphractos was that? BYC2 was these guys with the bows. And I'm not sure if Alternative Armies changed their codes. These Cataphractos have the correct shields, and they have spears. And oddly, there's only 2 in a pack. So for the time being, we're going to call these winners, and we're going to keep them over in the, we're probably going to use them soon group. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, we've got more of the, is this the same figure? This is the same figure. It looks like it's been primed. Yeah, Kevin Mello gave me these figures. He said they were his brothers who passed away unexpectedly and was a war gamer. And he knew that I did DBA stuff, so let's put his stuff to use. So here's, yeah, these guys should work fine for knights. Okay, this is the same as that one, as is this one. Now, what do we got in here? We've got, well, they're round-shaped guys. I'll have to find out in museum what these guys, these guys may end up being like Armenians or something like that. This is Gladiator from their medieval range. So there's 3 of these guys, and they've got the wrong shields for the time being. So let's, oh, I'm sorry, there's a 4th guy. We'll move them over. All right, what else we got here? This is CRB1, because this is the code. I've seen this. I've seen these guys. This is the command pack for the Comnenian Byzantine made by Gladiator Games, because it has a general with a full almond-shaped shield, which seems like it's got little dents in it. It's got some kind of detailing on it. A foot guy with a sword. A flag bearer. So if you go on Gladiator Games and look at Byzantine, under their medieval section, you're going to see pictures of these guys. And one guy blowing. And one horse, because he goes on it. And he's got a cape, doesn't he? He does. So these guys will go in the useful set. I didn't think this guy that they claimed that was in this pack for Gladiator is a Gladiator guy. This looks like an Alternative Armies Byzantine guy, if memory serves me right. So we have a general here. He's got the almond-shaped shield. we're going to take this general and we're going to put him back in the earlier one. Okay. All right, what else we got? We got these Turcopoles. Well, we'll leave them here. CRBO2, according to this label. I'm not sure if this has been replaced with other stuff, but let's see what we got here. Oh, we've got some Byzantine. Yep. These are the right kind of cavalry. With the almond shields. They call them kite shields. For me, kite shields are always more... kite shields are more like this to me. More rounded. Not almond shaped. So, they call them kites. I call them almond shaped. Okay, they've got helmets. They got chainmail. They've got long hair. They come on horses that are galloping. Oh, a couple different poses in horses. Are all these guys the same pose? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 guys. And these guys tend to be on the larger size. Would they work? Okay. Wow, the horse is going to be a big difference. They're significantly larger. Let's see. Let's see if I can show you a head-on view. Significantly larger horse. That doesn't mean I wouldn't be able to make it work. Just something to consider. Let me pull the army list for Constantinian, because the interesting thing about the Constantinian army is the Constantinian army actually has a command post, and the command post is actually like Emperor on Throne or something like that, and that's the army that got defeated at Manzikert, which is, I always like doing armies that are defeated, because if you get your ass beat, well, you know, at least I didn't lose as much badly as the guys did in real life, right? You can always say that in real life. It's a cavalry general, or if emperor on horse with purple caparison with Varangian escort. Oh, okay. So it'd be one guy mounted, and some Viking type guys as escort. Well, that's kind of cool. He cannot have a cataphract. Okay. But they have an Armenian spearman, which is interesting because I've got a Cilician Armenian army to do. I got figures for them already. I wouldn't have to buy any of that. So that's definitely, I could go back and do an earlier version of that. That's kind of a cool little wrinkle there, to play the same army in different ways. Okay, let's set that off to the side. We don't need that right this second. So that command post is actually a bunch of foot guys, the Varangian Guard. You got guys are Viking mercenaries surrounding one mounted guy. That's kind of cool. It's not a throne. I'm thinking of the Sassanid guy. The Sassanid general is a command post that has a guy on a throne. So this is 5 figures of this. All right, I'm going to put these guys off to the side because I know I'm going to have other knights, and just see if they're compatible with each other. I may not be able to use these guys together. There's a huge size difference. I mean, like really big. And these are one-piece castings, so you have to save them for a Nicephorian army morph. All right, what else do we have here? Okay, these are the archers. There's a Saloy. Cool. These are these knights that we just opened up. And this is the general. Okay, and these are the Turcopoles, right? Okay. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up, and I did an unboxing on these guys when I got them a couple of years ago. These are the Elaine Toulaire figures. And let's see what we have for these. I may not need to get anything. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see, we got the mounted and the foot. Let's do the foot first. The foot are easy. And this is it, by the way. This is all the Byzantines I have, so. All right. No, there's mounted in here too. I believe this is probably the light horse that's in here. Now these have some nice detail on the horses. They're about a size equivalent to Essex. So they're smaller than the Gladiator Games horses. And these, I believe, are the light horse figures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means I should have 8 riders. That's 4 light horse. That's perfect. I don't need more than 4 light horse. Okay, this is a bowman, spearman, axeman, spearman, two axemen, including one of them that's, here's a guy at the ready. And here's a guy that is getting ready to put one in on somebody. Look at this. This is a single blade stand that they have. Okay, spearman, spear, axes. Should be one more axeman. Here we go. Okay, so I got the 4 figures for the blade stand. So that's all set. Okay. Bowman, we have 1, 2, foot bowman, 1, 2, just 2, 3, 4. So more than likely, this is what I'm going to use for the Saloy or something like that. Okay. Oh, look, another horse to hit in there. So we got a couple of guys with javelins, and then another javelin guy. That's 3, and then half figure, a half figure, a half figure. They have the top that's cast separately. Another half figure, all firing bows. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 bow figures and 3 non-bow figures, some javelin figures. So that's 4 light horse with having 1 of these to spare and 1 of these to spare, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? That's 3 stands of light horse that are bow armed and 1 that's javelin armed, and then have a spare figure of each. Okay, now these spearmen look great, except they have the wrong shields. So we're going to get definitely a pack of spearmen with the almond-shaped shields. Again, if I wanted to replace the spears on these guys, it'd be a nightmare because it's running up against the side of the figure. That's just a lot of time to try and carve that off. Okay, so we're good on the light horse. We don't need any light horse. We need spearmen. Okay, let's go ahead and put these guys right back in the bag where we found them. And these guys are all a go. And we got the Varangian Guard. I don't know why they decided to make them 2-piece castings. Maybe just for casting purposes or something. So these guys are winners. Alright, this should be the other knights that I have. I think I had narrowed down that I was going to need a pack of spearmen before even looking at this. That I was going to need a pack of spearmen, the command stand, and one group of knights, and the bowmen. I think I can dispense with the bowmen. I don't have to buy them. All right, let's take a look at what we got in knights here. And these guys are definitely candidates for getting their lances replaced with pins. Now, let's compare the size-wise. I think they'd be able to mix just fine. Some people are just going to be bigger than other folks. So we've got this guy's almond shield. This guy's almond shield. This guy's round. Almond. 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 Almond, and it looks like the guy that maybe that holds the banner. The banner bearer. These are kind of a soft alloy. Guy's got a round shield. He's a no-go. He's a no-go for this army. Here's supposedly the commander. Does he have a cape? He does. Does anybody else have a cape? They do. Okay. And another guy with an almond shield. And here's the banner they supposedly gave you for that. This is a DBA army pack, supposedly, of years gone by. And I think the command group were all caparisoned horses. And the other guys just don't have any armor at all. I don't think I'm going to use any caparisoned horses in this army because, they're either going to be the half-armored fronts or just no armor at all. And I have a feeling I'm going to do the half-armored on the command stand. And no armor at all, the rest of the guys. So we know we got 5 guys here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 12. I'm gonna have to get 1 pack of knights. So we're gonna have to get. Where's my little pencil to write this down? We're gonna have to get. Really? We're gonna need 1 pack of knights. We're gonna need. I don't love any of these commanders real badly, so we're gonna get 1 command and 1 spear, and I think I'm okay on the bowman. So I'm gonna get those from Old Glory, and I'm probably going to replace all of the spears just so we don't have a problem down the line. These definitely going to have to be replaced. They're super bendy. And we'll replace them. And if I'm going to replace them, I might as well replace these. I think these are okay. And the Old Glory guys have freaking sticks. They're not the. They've actually when they started off, all their spears tended to be the real thick kind. Kind of like those spearmen had at the beginning. And then later on, they went in the Crusade stuff and 100 Years' War stuff. They're really, really thin. So, they kind of did one thing and progressed into something else. So, So let's put these CRB2s back in this pack. And these guys back in here as well. So now we know kind of what we need to get. So the only guys that have round shields are actually the Varangian Guards. They kept them around longer than other folks. They're ex-Vikings. And they wanted to kind of keep that thing going. Okay, so these are winners, maybe. I may put them on the command. It's just an empty bag. This stuff. Well, we're going to do Komnenen Byzantine next. And I'm going to take Dirk's idea of giving them desert-like basing. Because that was the whole thing that I like how they looked on the base. Not totally desert, but arid-like basing. Like arid Turkey or arid Anatolia. And then these guys are guys that we're going to call for a later date. ton. So, but anyhow, that's what's coming up next. It's still a little ways off, but some people were asking what I was going to do with it, so we're going to give these guys the proper treatment and yeah, go from there. But anyhow, that's it. I just wanted to just chit chat a little bit, show you what I was going to work on next. I wanted to look through there to see what exactly I needed, and